No, I mean, I've watched Grand Designs a couple of times, but not anything too major.
That sounds quite...
But, like, if you sit down for too long, your pelvic, like, tilts forward, so then your stomach does, yeah. So, like, most people that think they have a belly don't actually have a belly. It's just because their pelvis is tilted forward.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, so
I've never, ever heard of that.
I didn't until I was at the gym, like, in between lockdowns, and my mate was just like, do you have this? Like, he said anterior pelvic, and I was like, what are you on about? Like, I don't understand what that is, and explained it to me, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh my god, it's only like, say if you, I don't know if your pelvis is supposed to be 90 degrees up, it's only like 10 degrees forward.
So if you sit down for a long amount of time, it makes you have a belly?
Yeah, like your pelvis gets used.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's 100%, because obviously, being a bartender, I'm supposed to be on my feet for 10 hours a day, but then being at home for nearly a year, I noticed it. Yeah. So I think people like, I was like, you just need to stretch out your hamstrings. So yeah, I'm doing like a stretch routine twice a day, and it's just like, this is not exercise. But it's gonna pay off. Cause I feel like people don't really know about that, and they should, because they might think they're fat when they're not.
I've never heard of it myself, but now I feel like I'm a little bit more enlightened that I do know about it. You've opened my world there.
So how did you get started in the world of music? Where did it start for you?
So I had my first guitar when I was 10.
Oh.
Yeah. But I messed around with it, enjoyed it, but then put it down for quite a while. And when I was 14, I got into like heavy music and picked it back up, and then from the age of 14, just like wanted to play in bands and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Like when you first, because I don't want to be like stereotypical, but I imagine people might have judged you a bit being a girl like in heavy music. Did you feel, especially like back then, because it's like, how old are you now?
23.
Yeah, so it's like a decade ago, like the world was completely different in it. So,
yeah.
Like, did you face a little bit of like pushback?
When I first picked up a guitar, like when I actually first owned one, I wasn't even aware of like the fact that might happen. I guess maybe I wasn't at the age of like 10. I wasn't really aware of a lot of social things like that. But I guess when I was 14, it was you're always gonna come up against like sexism and things like that. I wouldn't say, to be quite honest, when I was 14 I was even like aware of it then. I was only starting to be aware of it when I started putting videos online and stuff like that, and then you get like a truer depiction of like what the majority of people think, rather than like your circle and your friends who, to be honest, never really said anything about it. But yeah. Yeah,
I feel that, like, because when I see, like, I watched a video on Lad Bible the other day, and it was with Emily Atak that was in Between Us, and she gets like a lot of disgusting things messaged to her, and I was like, I'm weirdly thankful that I never have to put up with that, but then also not thankful, but like I just wouldn't know how to deal with that at all.
Yeah, that must suck to get that like a lot.
Yeah. Did you have a really weird first band name? What was your first band's name?
Oh my god.
Because I've got some corkers, so I thought everyone's got a corker with a band name.
I can't even tell you the first band name because I think it might still be on YouTube somewhere.
No, oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
And it's so bad, it is like horrific. Allotropes was one.
What's an allotrope? It sounds sciencey.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Like when you're a kid, like you just find cool words. Like allotrope. That's actually quite a cool band name. Was it a good band?
It was alright, I guess, for the time. I'm trying to think of other ones. I was in a lot of bands where like they just never ever gigged. Like there was just a lot of going to Mother's studio. Oh, Smoke Mango.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that was quite a cool one though. That was a big fun.
Sounds like a vape, that. It sounds like a flavour of vape.
Yeah, now it probably
is.
Yeah.
I haven't been Mother's in ages. I remember Mother's being... I went for a gig that was very sweaty. It was in that greenhouse thing.
Oh.
I can't remember who played.
Cool. I really do like Mother's.
my mate's old band played, and it was just like, I haven't been sick, but this is like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. It's probably changed a lot since I've been. Because when I was there, it literally had like 2 practice rooms, I think.
There's now when I go, we go in somebody's lock-up upstairs, so I don't really go down the corridor.
Oh, I don't even remember there being a corridor, to be honest.
But yeah, Mothers, big up.
Yeah, I had some weird band names as well. Like my first band was called, we had like 3 names. It was called, we were like an indie band, so you know they're going to be terrible names. Radio League was our first band name.
Oh my word.
No, I really like that one. Like,
I think that's quite cool.
14-year-old, wow, was I 14? No, 15-year-old me really enjoyed that name. And then we changed to the Towns.
Oh.
Which just looks like a Vert band name. Like, I imagine every Vert band name, like The Enemy and everything like that, have been called the Towns at one point because it's such a generic, stupid name.
Is
and
it? I don't think I've ever heard that.
I hate it. Well, that's what I mean, because no one keeps it. It just gets passed. It just gets passed to
Maybe
bands.
I'm out of touch with the indie world. I know a lot of bands who kind of call themselves after like the towns they live in and shit like that, but never just like as broad as the towns. But I dig it.
Yeah, like I knew a band. I can't remember their first title, first name, but then they changed it to Court Lane, which was a one of the game default stadiums on FIFA.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought, why has no one done that? Because that's actually a really smart place to get them from, like games like that. But yeah, and then we stuck on members only, and everybody was
Members only is cool.
Yeah, we enjoyed
I like
that.
that name.
People, you know, when people try and force a joke out of certain situations,
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, is it a club?" I was like, "No, it's not a club. It's just a name. Leave me. I'm just a bass player. Leave me alone. I'm the bass player for a reason. I don't do interviews. I don't do stuff like that."
I like that name. It's cool.
So, talk to me about your current band.
Yeah, so in a band called Heriot.
Thank you for saying how it says, because
A lot of people get that wrong.
yeah, I'm dyslexic, so I read certain words and I just keep calling it. I know it's not. I want to say heretic, but it's not heretic at all.
It's close. It's
yeah.
close to heretic. Yeah. No, Heriot. Some people say Heriot as well, which it's not. But yeah, Heriot.
What does that mean?
Oh no. I don't know.
Does it have an? Is it an actual like?
It does.
What, I was
yeah.
going to say it's an actual word. Of course, it's a word.
It has a meaning. I could Google it now. Actually, I'm not gonna, just because I've joined this band a lot later than the other guys. So I only joined like just over a year ago.
I was going to ask this because I saw a video.
So they
from,
know
like,
the meaning, and if I get it wrong, I click on the wrong Google translation. I might get in trouble.
Yeah, because I saw a video on YouTube from like 4 years ago, and then the more recent stuff's only obviously more recent. So I didn't understand, because obviously I know people, like one of my mates is in about 4 bands. I'm just like, how are you? Like how? So I wondered if you were in that in Heriot as well as your old band that I came to see. I can't remember the band name.
Yeah, Dead Hands was my old
Dead
band.
Hands, that's the
yeah.
one. I knew it was
You came
2
to
words.
I think you came to the Flapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice of you.
I turned up and I was at the Longbridge train station. My mate was there who lives in Manchester now. He was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, the Flapper." And he was like, "Oh, I'm going too." And he was like, because we didn't know we would, like, he'd just come back for the weekend. And then we got there and everyone was there. I was like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll come to see the gig." But I was immediately hanging out with George and all that anyway.
Yeah.
But I remember, I think George just stopped the conversation. He was like, "Waff, why are you here?" And I was just like, "George, we've known each other for like 10 years, mate. We do appear in certain places together." And he was just like, "Oh, I've come to see Dead Hands." And I was like, "Oh, have you?" And you just hit, yeah. So I just came in for your set. But it was sick.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I really enjoyed it. I missed the Flapper.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still there. But that was like the last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think our show was the one before last until it shut. Which is
Oh, that makes
super
more sense.
sad. I really, really love the Flapper.
Yeah, was it a Friday? Was it a Saturday?
I don't know.
No.
You got a better memory than me, man. It was weekend, I think. But yeah, Flapper is fucking sick. I love the Flapper.
So how long were you out of Dead Hands? Well, how long till the end of Dead Hands before you joined Heriot?
So Dead Hands was still going when I joined Heriot. So I think I joined summer 2019.
That doesn't sound that long ago, but it actually is, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Because of the pandemic, it's like...
It's literally like summer's in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't wait for that though.
I'll be working, which I'm enjoying. I miss work, but I've been a beer garden. It.
We'll,
You know what I
we'll
mean?
come and see you at work.
Please do. So yeah, what's happening with Heriot now? Because I know you've released a couple of videos of the past couple of months. It's probably last year now, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got 2 tracks, Claims Existence, which came out in November, and Recreant, which come out I think in January or February.
Yeah, I like Recreant. I think that's my favourite out of the 2.
Oh, lovely. And then we've got a new track coming out really soon, and hopefully in the next few weeks. We're just waiting on a couple of things for it. And then, another new track, and we've got some other stuff in the pipeline as well, just new music.
You're doing a festival, aren't you? If it goes ahead, I don't know what the date of it.
Yeah, so Burn It Down is in September, so fingers crossed that'll go ahead.
Is that the one in Plymouth? Was there another one in Plymouth?
I think it's...
Because I saw you announce it, and I was like, oh, it's in Plymouth, and I was like, oh my god, 'cause it's not that hard. I mean, it's only a train.
Yeah, that kind of way. I can't remember exactly. Plymouth. I thought Bournemouth, but I don't.
It's September, and it's.
Don't let me drive there.
That's the thing. Like when someone's planned something like that, I'd be just like, yeah, just pick me up and just take me there. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't. Because I'm like you, I just forget where everything is.
Yeah, see, that's a problem with me though. I forget where everything is, and I have to drive there.
That's my only added bonus is that I don't drive. So like, I walked here today after the train station.
Did you?
Yeah. So but I like doing that. I like walking places because I feel like if I was driving, I'd get more lost. I say that I got lost on the way today. So your new songs, was that what you were recording last weekend? Was it last weekend you put the picture up with Marshall?
Yeah, so we were doing the video for that new track last weekend, which hopefully will be out soon. Soon.
This is one thing I've always wondered, because like the bands I've been in never got to that stage. Like, do you get in touch with Marshall, or do they? Obviously, I know you can buy a Marshall from a store, but it seemed like they sort of hooked you up with some stuff. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so they asked me whether I'd be interested in doing. I think it was called the Artist series, like a new artist series on YouTube that they were doing last summer. So I went down and recorded a video for their YouTube channel, which is really cool. And then it's kind of stemmed from that, which is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet 14. Imagine if you told your 14 years old self that you'd be working, like doing a new artist thing with Marshall, you'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, just taking it as it comes. No expectations or any of that shit. It's just nice things to have been a part of. So.
That's good. That's like very humbling. Like that shows you very humble, because I've known people that have had small record deals and stuff like that, and it just goes straight to their head, and they
no.
It's usually blokes though, so it's usually like, especially when I was like 15, 16, and I knew bands that were getting record deals, they were like, they almost didn't want to talk to you anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh no, none of that shit. No.
So you've done a lot on YouTube recently, haven't you? Who did you interview? Was it Mark from Lamb of God?
Yeah.
How did that happen? Because like, I've been listening to Lamb of God for years, and obviously I've known you for a while. And then I remember you posted that on your Facebook, and I looked at it, and I didn't give it a second glance, because it was like, because I saw everything in like the title and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. And like 5 minutes later, I came back to it. I was like, because like it's weird, like two things that I know have come together that I didn't. Not that. I didn't know you would. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know you were going to do stuff like that. So like, what was that like?
Yeah, so he's a really, really, really nice dude, and considering I really love Lamb of God, I think he's quite chilled out about that. Not that I'm like, oh my god, I love Lamb of God. I was really trying to like contain myself for that, but yeah, a really, really nice man, and yeah, I think he's one of the coolest people in metal for sure.
Yeah,
he was really, really cool.
Like, how did it? Did someone ask you? I imagine someone asked you to do it, because I don't. I imagine 9 times out of 10, if you email somebody's band manager, they'd be like, "Can I do it?"
No. Hello, Mr. Lamb of God.
Yeah, like, oh, can I interview the band, please? And they're like, who are you?
My lovely friend Joe Nam works at Nuclear Blast, and they were holding some interviews at YouTube London, and he knows how much I like Lamb of God. So he said, do you want to come down to YouTube and do a little piece with Nuclear Blast and Lamb of God? So it's all down to my lovely friend Joe.
Shout out, Joe. That's so cool, though. Because, like, how did you... I've never had that opportunity, so, like, did you believe him when he asked you for the first time? Or were you just like, this is a weird joke?
So, like, with music things, nothing is ever set in stone. So I've had so many unfortunate things happen to me where it looks like it's going to happen and then it doesn't. I'm quite, like... I read it and I was like, wow, that's sick. And then I was like, wow, you know, it's not confirmed. And Joe was like, it's not confirmed yet, mate, so don't, you know, get too excited. But yeah, it was a really, really nice day. That was like the most normal day of 2020. After that day, everything just went downhill. That was like January 2020.
Oh! I was going to say, yeah, 2020 has been not a bad way to start the year, though.
Yeah, it looked like that year was going to go fantastic.
Yeah.
Not that it was awful.
No, yeah, I think we've all managed.
I've had better ones.
Yeah, I imagine we've all managed to do something creative.
Yeah, I think that's like the positive thing of like this year, because people have had a chance to get back into what they wouldn't normally do because of work and stuff like that. And like, say if you played drums or guitar and things like that years ago, and maybe work takes over. Work takes up a lot of your time, and so sometimes you kind of forget the things that you're legitimately interested in. And so like, it's been really cool to see lots of friends getting back into playing or drawing or like exercising and just stuff that isn't going to work for 5 days a week, you know.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I mean, that's like one of the positive things from this lockdown, is that it's allowed people to have a bit more time for themselves. I know maybe we've had too much time now, but at least for that first burst, I think it was good for everybody to have a bit of downtime.
Yeah, I've had too much time to do, I think.
Yeah, I guess when you've been off for like a year, that's a bit longer, isn't it, really?
Yeah, especially like because we went back in between. It was a bit like, oh yeah, we're back. It wasn't the same. It was quite fun because I didn't have to do table service at all, which I don't mind. But I was just on the bar. I just got 2 tickets. But yeah, even though I've got back to playing bass properly, it's been really fun.
That's good, man.
I've been really enjoying it. I've been thinking about putting videos up on Instagram as well. It's just, I just can't be out. I'm lazy.
Nah, you should do, man. And it will give you motivation to do more.
Yeah, because there's so many songs that I've listened to for ages that I've never realised had great bass lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like Karma Chameleon by Culture Club has such a good bass line, and I feel like people wouldn't necessarily be like, that's a bass, really cool bass. Like you think of like, what's the song by Iron Maiden? Run to the Hills. They're really, I mean, they're all good, but I think it's Run to the Hills. Like you see lists of like great bass lines, and I was like, no, I want to do like Colin Minogue Spinning Around has got a really good bass line. But if I was like, I don't want my first song to be, although it doesn't really matter.
I think that would be cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's so good. There's so many good bass lines, and I was like, I might just do it.
Pop songs have really good bass lines.
This is what I've discovered recently, because I used to be a like, music snob and didn't really listen to pop music. And if I did, like when I was really young, I was like a big Robbie Williams fan and stuff like that. But that's the only music I sort of knew, met radio in it. But now over the past couple of months, I've discovered so many pop songs, not necessarily newer ones, but like 90s and 2000 ones that have got such good bass lines.
Yeah.
And dance music, which is obvious because most of it, like when you say drum and bass, I never really considered that to have bass lines.
Yeah. I'm with you. I know exactly what you mean.
And thank you, because I felt like I was being right stupid then.
No. I know exactly what you mean.
When I hear bass line or dance music, I don't think of instrumentation, if that's the right word. And I feel like I've been doing dance music a bit of a discredit. Even though I did do dance music as part of my music GCSE. I'm very good dance music because it was GCSE.
I'm sure it was.
So did you do any education in music, or are you all self-taught?
No, but I did. So I kind of did it like a backwards way. So I didn't do music at school, like I didn't do GCSE music, but then I went to college and did the like BTEC music performance and A-level English lit. But I was like,
You only did 2 A-levels?
so the BTEC was like 3 A-levels supposedly.
Oh, okay.
So I did it for like, I don't know, the amount of time that you would do through for 3 A-levels.
That makes sense. Yeah, because BTEC's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, so... but yeah, I'm awful at music theory. Absolutely horrific.
Preach it. Can you read music?
No.
Nah, I can very read tabs, to be honest. That's how I learned.
Tabs are like a godsend.
I remember when I first started to learn guitar, I had no idea. I literally got one for Christmas, and then me and my mate used to go into... Because he was a drummer, so he didn't have to bring anything into school. I brought my like gear for music. You know, like, certain websites do like packs, and you get like, little packs.
Yeah.
I had that, brought that and my guitar and like my rip-off Red Stratocaster. No, it was. I don't know where that guitar is anymore. I don't think I sold it. I must have just got rid of it. But like at lunchtime, we used to go into a practice room and just we didn't do anything. Like it took us like half hour to find the drums because they were in each separate room. Because it wasn't like a drum kit. It was just like there was a bass drum in one room, a snare in the other, some cymbals somewhere, and then eat lunch and then play a song for like 20 minutes and we have to pack up again. And I was like,
oh, simpler times, man.
It was fun though. Like before things like, because I was like, that was like year 8, so I must have been like 13. You don't give a shit at 13. It's fun though. I know the first thing I learned how to play was White Stripes, Seven Nations Army.
I think that was for so many people.
I was going to ask who it was, and I don't know who, because I remember seeing something ages ago, and I think it was Jarvis Cocker that said it's like, that's this generation's Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Yeah.
What was the first thing you learnt? Can you remember?
I honestly think it was Smoke on the Water.
I think it was, it was definitely because my mate came round.
James Bond theme tune. I don't know.
That's cool.
That seems to be a popular one as well.
Yeah, I learned how to play the Godfather. I only like the intro, the Godfather theme, because I saw Slash do it once. I was like obsessed with Slash when I was a kid.
Slash is cool. I do think Slash is cool.
Have you ever seen him live?
Yeah.
With who? On his own?
I've seen him on his own a couple of times. And
I've seen him a couple of times
and
as well.
with Guns N' Roses. A download. Yeah.
I've got tickets for this summer.
Have you?
But it's 2 days before everything opens up. So fingers crossed it's like one of these pilot events that I can go to. Because it's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is like this modern football stadium. It's got like the promenade bits are like so modern. I was like, I need to go purely for that, but also to fucking see Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Because they were like the first heavy band I got into, I assume. Mm-hmm. I was alright indie kid when I was a fucking child, and I don't mind it now.
No.
Arctic Monkeys were a thing. I still listen to Arctic Monkeys, but there was like some pap about like pigeon detectives.
I don't know that. I like the fact that they've got pigeon in their band.
Have you never heard of the Pigeon Detectives?
No,
I am envious. They were alright. But then, you know, when you mature and you start listening to like, I don't want to say actual music because I'm sure, I don't think they're a band anymore. And they're probably not going to listen to this. And they're probably never going to come on. But yeah, there's some bands that I listened to when I was younger that are just so terrible. Like Razorlight as well. We were into Razorlight and I was like, oh. I feel like I'm going to offend people now, but
I sometimes think that when I listen back to old bands and like Nickelback, sometimes some of their songs are like fucking wicked.
What's that one that's really cool? How You Remind Me? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, they do.
I like that one. And then Rockstar because it's very catchy. But anything else?
See, I kind of think, I look back and I think that's like Nickelback's, like, not crap because obviously they're like
still going,
big
aren't they?
rock songs, but I don't think that's the best of Nickelback. Whereas when I was a kid, I used to be like, yeah, Nickelback's sick.
Have you seen Nickelback live?
Yeah, man.
Oh! Do you know what? Like, it's like Coldplay. Like, I used to shit on Coldplay a lot, and I used to shit on Nickelback. I still shit on Coldplay a lot because they're terrible. But like Nickelback, it's sort of like cool to like Nickelback now, isn't it?
You need to listen to the right Nickelback.
Yeah.
So for years I was like, nah, not me. I don't listen to Nickelback. No. And then,
But did you in the secret?
Did I what?
Did you tell people you didn't, but you actually did?
Oh yeah. And then a couple of years ago, it suddenly was like cool to like Nickelback, and then I was kind of like, no, I actually really do like Nickelback. Yeah, but they do have some real good bangers. They have bangers in like Drop A. How sick is that? Or maybe Drop B.
Say Drop A is a bit.
Maybe Drop B. Definitely Burn It to the Ground is in like a low.
Oh, Burn It to the Ground's a good song. I only know about that because it was.
That's a big riff. That is.
Yeah, it was. It was a theme to SmackDown, like the wrestling. So it was theme tune to one of the wrestling. So it was like every Friday I used to tune in. When I was younger, it was just that, and I was like, "Oh, that's quite a good song." And then I hear it was Nickelback. I was like, "Nah, it's not good."
I do think like if like Code Orange have got a track on wrestling at the minute. I think.
Yeah, it's Bray Wyatt's theme. I think, or his old one. It's about a rabbit. Have they got one called about a rabbit?
Yeah. Swallowing the rabbit.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
But this is the thing. Like when I tell people I'm into that sort of music, they'll be like, "Names." I just can't. Like, I listen to Code Orange. Not a lot. I listen to other bands more, but I've just not got names of songs down yet.
I don't think you need to.
No. You only need to when someone asks you, really.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what YouTube channel it is, but they work like festivals and gigs, and they go to someone in a band t-shirt and like name 3 songs. And I was like,
I hate that.
Oh my god.
So much. I hate that.
I find it funny, but if it was me, like I'd never do it, and I'd never want it to be done to me.
Yeah, I just feel like it's gatekeeping as fuck.
Oh, of course it is.
Oh, why are you wearing that band shirt? You can't know what album they did in 1995.
Yeah, like name me track 5 on their second album.
Yeah.
Like no one knows that. I doubt they know that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that kind of crap.
I used to be like that when I first became a punk. I was very like gatekeepy punk.
I think everybody goes through a stage of being like that when they're younger. I can definitely relate to that.
It's when I saw Ramones t-shirts in like Forever 21. It's like, what are you doing? And then I saw like, but I'd never do it. Like I'd look at people wearing them and I'm like, you don't know who the Ramones are. I don't know that you don't, but I'm never going to ask you because I'm too. Because if you do, I'm going to look like an idiot. Yeah. Stop gatekeeping.
Yeah, they used to have quite a lot of shirts in like Primark and stuff like that. And I remember having the same feeling. I think they had like a Bring Me the Horizon one. And I was like, what's that doing in Primark? But now I'm just like, yeah, Bring Me the Horizon had a shirt in Primark. That's actually pretty fucking cool.
I know. I didn't like Bring Me the Horizon at the start of their musical famous. Oh, fuck's sake, I need to learn how to do sentences properly. Yeah, because I was just coming out of. I never really ventured into the heavier. I don't know if you call. I mean, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're heavier than indie. Like when they first came out, I was very anti screaming music.
I remember buying Suicide Season and having to skip like the first 4 tracks because I thought it was so heavy. And I guess for that time it was heavy, and they are a heavy band. Maybe not like comparatively to what I might listen to now, but that album is heavy. But I think they are like one of the few bands who I actually kind of admire for going down a different route. Maybe I've phrased that wrong, but I think the way that they did it when they dropped like Sempiternal, I think that was just so clever, and they've managed to make that like their identity seamlessly. Whereas I think sometimes a band writes a really heavy album and it's almost like the end goal to write this like pop banger.
Yeah.
To eventually like break free from like not earning loads of money as a heavy band. I don't know. I kind of just think it's bullshit. Like people are like, oh yeah, metal needs to be in the charts again, and then it'll be like a watered down version. I don't know. Like Architects are killing it.
Yeah, I know. I don't really listen to Architects though, but I know they're doing good work, and you have to admire it.
They're killing it, but yeah, I guess like yeah, certain real heavy bands do make it into the charts. I guess sometimes, but
I mean,
I think it's weird how the end goal is to like go poppy. It
know.
seems to be this natural like progression, but maybe it's like because you can only write an album so many times. I sometimes feel like certain bands should just stop
Clear,
after
you
us.
clearly have not listened to 17 albums by the Ramones. They're all the same.
No.
But no, I feel that. I don't know why they do that, because like I'm a big fan of Agnostic Front, who have never gone. I mean, I don't think a hardcore band like that can, because I can't see them write a pop song.
Well, yeah,
But they still survive. They're not. I mean, they're not in mansions.
that's it. Yeah,
But if that's your goal, fair play.
yeah.
Do you do what you need to? But if it's not, if you're quite comfortable living in a New York apartment.
That sounds lovely. That does, mate.
Yeah, I think they've all been living in the. I think the lead singer lives in a house now. Like Vinny Stigma, the guitar player, has lived in the same small apartment in New York since he started Agnostic Front. If you want to do that,
That's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no?
to be honest, like I don't. You're going to be touring all the time anyway. I don't think it would even matter where you
trust me.
lived.
I think it was it last? No, it couldn't have been last year. It must have been 2019. No, it can't have been. Wait, I'm trying to remember when I last went to a gig. No, it couldn't.
Oh no.
Cause like you said 2019 earlier. I was like, that doesn't sound. It was long ago. It's like my last gig was Supergrass, which was last year. Just before, it was like February, I think. So I must have saw Agnostic Front. Yeah, I saw Agnostic Front December 2019, Mama Ruse, and I genuinely thought I'd never been to a gig before in Mama Ruse, and I genuinely thought that because I was upstairs, I can't mosh anymore. Far too old. I've not got the knees for moshing anymore. Damn. There was like some 6-year-old geezers in there, and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. I was just like, I don't want to hurt myself. I want to enjoy the music. I genuinely thought the place was gonna. I thought, got like the seating bit upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know how well built that is to get put together. I'm shitting on Mama Ruse now, but I genuinely thought the place was gonna collapse.
Oh, you know, Mama Ruse is like one of my favourite venues.
It is now for me as well.
I think it's so cool. The interior of it is just wicked. Really, really cool.
They should do propaganda there, didn't they?
That's I don't know.
You don't know
I've
what
only
propaganda-
ever
do you know
been
what
to
it is?
propaganda
Oh, okay.
at the O2 Academy.
Yeah. O2 Academy days were the best because it used to have 3 rooms, but then they moved. I think they went down to just a big room, and then they moved to Mama Ruse, and I was like, "How are you doing a club night in Mama Ruse?"
Oh, yeah.
Because like
Oh.
I'd been. I must have been. No, I don't think I had. But I looked at pictures. Like it doesn't look very. Not full. Obviously, it was full, but knowing how big Mama Ruse is, it seems like the weirdest place to have a club night.
I think it's quite cool, you know. I think the inside of it is like a really cool venue, and I think it would actually make like quite a unique like club night. I don't think I've ever been to it as a club night.
I've been to some nights. I know people that do some summer nights. They've used Mama Ruse fair bit. I've been to one of them. That was quite cool though. So I'd only ever been for that. So it was a bit like it was like a DJ. So I'm not very clued up on how they DJ because I don't understand electronic genres. If you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I can differentiate between punk and hardcore and metal and thrash and stuff like that. But if you tell me I know what house is. And I think I like acid house music, but I'm still not 100% sure about genres. And
Yeah, to be honest, you absolutely lost me.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I wouldn't be able to do
yeah,
that.
and I remember like some people that listen to that don't understand the genres that I know. I was like, how do you not understand it? It's so simple, but then they must feel exactly the same way when I'm like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's familiarity with the different subgenres. and
yeah. But how many subgenres can there be? But I genuinely feel like people have had this conversation about metal and hard music. Do you know what I mean?
I always think it's really interesting with like there's so many different like subgenres of like metal and hardcore and stuff like that. And I always find it really interesting seeing people describe their own bands because like
Well, this is what I was gonna ask you.
Nobody can ever describe their old band and their own band's genre, sorry. And I just think it's so interesting because I probably wouldn't. I don't know whether I'd be able to nail it like an accurate.
Yeah.
Like I kind of said that Heriot is like.
I've seen the word sludge thrown about, but I don't know what sludge metal
Like-
is. Even though I like it, I still don't
Like-
understand what it is.
Doomy kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
doomy.
more sense.
Like, I don't even. Yeah, see, I can't even do
Yeah.
it now. Like, heavy industrial sludgy hardcore.
Yeah.
But how wankery does that
I
sound?
know! And we're supposed to be like wearing leather jackets and band t-shirts and cool hair, and people are like, "You're really cool." Yeah, but get me to explain a band I like. And he's like, sludge industrial metal, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I do think it's really... Or, like, when someone is in, like, maybe just of a straight-up punk band, and they're like, yeah, but it's not really punk, there's, like, elements... And I'm like, oh... But then it makes me reflect on how I would describe my own band. I'm like, I just look like a prick.
Yeah, like, I'm just super glad I'm not in bands anymore, so I don't have to describe them. Because like, I say I have a podcast, and they're like, "What's it about?" It's like, "Oh, it's usually about what I've been up to, what my guests have been up to in the world of life, like what's happening in the world and in life." So that's it. It's not like industrial sludge podcasts. But yeah, man, like there's bands I listen to that I class as hardcore, like. But then there's, like, I've seen Power Trip be described as thrash metal with hardcore elements. I was like, to me, it's just thrash. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Um.
See, yeah, I know what you mean. I would probably say it's thrashy hardcore, but I don't know whether it's because, like, they're part of a hardcore scene and they're a thrash band in a hardcore scene. So I think it's kind of like situational with them as well that makes you think of hardcore.
Yeah.
They're definitely more a thrash band
Yeah.
than a hardcore band, but like they tour with hardcore bands.
Yeah. Which is cool.
They're so cool.
I think that
Power Trip are fucking wicked.
because I was listening to that when I remembered that you interviewed Mark, I was just like, it is Mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
I listened to Lamb of God again. I haven't listened to him for like probably since I watched the interview. Because I know who they are and I do listen to them now and again. But they're one of those bands that I filter in or out of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're touring. I was going to go see them.
Oh, with Power Trip.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know what's happening because obviously, Paul Riley.
I know.
Paul Riley's died, and then shout. I'm wearing his tribute T-shirt.
Yeah,
actually.
I love that shirt. I wish I picked one up.
I got one of the hoodies as well. So I don't know what's happening because I was like, I really want to go see Power Trip, but I know obviously, but then like changing lead singers, obviously due to terrible circumstances, you don't know what it's going to be like.
We were talking about this the other day at band practice, and I was saying like, I don't know whether how to feel about like when that happens. Like I remember when the old singer of Suicide Silence died, and then they replaced him. I was like, I understand why you'd want to like continue like his legacy and his memory, and I think with Power Trip they're saying that they're like finishing up what they were recording when they'd started it with Riley, which I think is like really cool. If that is true, I've only heard that, but I don't know. I think if I was in that situation, I'd be very conflicted.
Yeah, I think it's different when someone dies, because like the big one I know is like when Van Halen dropped David Lee off because of drugs and brought in Sammy Hagar. Some fans just didn't like it. But it's different because it's still a band. It's not like they haven't had any grievance. Obviously, outside family members might have, but like I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to make a decision like that. Do you know what I mean? But then again, they could just stop Power Trip and just make new bands. It's all brilliant musicians.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Is it like carrying on that legacy for Riley of the Power Trip dream? Like I totally get that if that's the route that they want to go down. I feel for them so much. It must be horrific. I really, really feel for them. Yeah,
because I imagine it's a weird like crux to have. Or, is it crutch or crux?
I don't know.
Don't, because I do this all the time. Like, there's a joke I'm working on. I can't even remember I can't tell it. It's a joke. But this is this phrase that I've been saying since I was young, that I've been saying wrong up until very recently. I was like, how stupid do you have to be? I can't remember. It's like a common phrase like that. So I don't know if it's crux or crutch, because surely it should be crutch. But why is crux what is a crux? Yeah, it must be. Ignore that. It must be like a weird thing to have, because I imagine every interview they're going to do now is just going to be about, which is cool because it was a really cool dude. It's a really cool band, but I imagine it must.
I think like with Architects as well. When Tom died from Architects, they really make his memory live on, and their backdrop is him and things like that. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Real tough.
I think the first one I remember is when Rev from Avenged Sevenfold died.
Oh yeah.
And that was like a bit. Like, I didn't really listen to him, but I was still very. Because I used to read Kerrang and stuff.
Yeah, every week, man.
And I knew a few of their songs, but I was like, dude, that was like the first person I really knew who. Well, not knew, but like in a band that I knew that died. And I was just like, they handled it quite well because they've done. Oh, well, not that you can, but. Talking about death, it sounds like quite weird saying that about handling death.
It's all good. I know what you mean.
But yeah, they've sort of honoured his memory very well. I don't know what they do at live shows because I've never been to a live show, but yeah, they've made more albums and they seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, it's still quite raw for Power Trip. I would imagine
Oh,
that
yeah.
they've got a lot of time and
Especially
a lot of healing to do.
especially because of the pandemic as well.
Oh.
'Cause it sort of happened in the middle of it, and they can't. No, they didn't postpone anything. They didn't. I don't know how much they're band practicing or whatever, or even if they are. But it just must have been such a weird time to lose somebody.
Yeah, very heavy for them. Very heavy.
Can we talk about something a bit nicer now?
Yeah.
Talk about your merch. Because can you do me a favour? Can you start making merch? Because I keep buying it, and I have the money to buy it. It's not like I keep because I really like your designs and stuff. And I was like, I should buy this because I know people in Heriot, and I was like, it's really cool designs. And I was like, they're just, and I nearly wore one in today, and I was like, I can't do like by accident. I put this t-shirt on for a reason because like I haven't worn it for a while. I'm not wearing a Heriot t-shirt to Big Debs because it's going to look like. It's like you. Did you wear a Lamb of God shirt when you met Mark?
No.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you just can't do it. Even though I know you and I know you for a while, and it's not like I'm coming to interview you in the same. It's not like you're in Lamb of God and I'm Debbie going to London to interview you. But I'm still like, I can't wear her band t-shirt to an interview with her because I'm just like.
I would have rated it. I would have thanked you a lot.
I love them. I genuinely do really like them. And I haven't got the. I saw one advertised the other day actually. The one with I haven't got the red clip. I think the first one you put out. I haven't got the red one, but I've got the black one with the big white thing on the front, and then the beige one.
Oh.
I also got a hat as well.
Oh
I also got a hat. I was like, I have to get the hat because I like my hats.
Oh man, that's so many. Thank you.
It's alright.
That's really, really cool of you.
But you're very lucky. It's because I actually got to the weight I'm supposed to be at like over the last 2 years. So I had all my clothes. I wear XL t-shirts because they're quite comfortable. All my clothes before that were like mediums, so I needed a new wardrobe. And I was like, no.
Fab.
I'm playing it. Yeah, so hopefully you get famous, and then I'm wearing like an original, just like, scoring points with the kids. So, what was your? I'm always interested to know like what was your first guitar? Because I know you got when your first one was like 10.
Oh my gosh, my mum was asking me this today. So. I think it was like an Argus guitar, like the Argus.
I can feel that. My first skateboard was an Argus skateboard. Tip for sorry to interrupt, but for people: don't buy Argus skateboards because they're not skateboards. You will literally. I think if you YouTube Berwick's, the Berwick's are like this skateboard thing in America. If you go on their YouTube channel and look at supermarket or Walmart skateboards, they're literally so dangerous.
Really?
Yeah, like they're so thin and like not wood. It's like chipboard and shit like that. So it's alright for a kid, but if a kid tries to do a kickflip on it, they'll probably they won't kill themselves, but they will like probably hurt themselves. So like, yeah, support your local skate shops, even if it's like £100, just do it. You won't break your neck. But yeah, what's an Argus guitar like?
It was shit from what I remember.
Was it like full on plastic? Was it?
You know what? I can't really remember. I remember it being like, because my dad like can play a little bit of guitar, and I think he kind of played it and was like, "This is really bad, actually." And then I think I had that for I don't know a few months or something like that, and then he was like, yeah, let's get you a Yamaha Pacifica, which is like a really popular starter guitar. And it was blue, and I remember that. So that was my first guitar. That was I count my first one as the Yamaha Pacifica.
Yeah, I think I was quite lucky with my Gear for Music one because it was playable. It actually worked. So I class that one, but it was just like, like Stratocaster was. It just had Gear for Music.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then it took me ages to get another guitar. Because I remember when I started GCSE music, I wasn't a bass player. And there was like a band forming in the class, and it was like, "Oh, Joe, do you want to play bass?" And I was like, "What's bass?"
Oh.
So I had to borrow one of the guitar player's bass guitar. It was like it's an Ibanez. It was a really cool guitar. I can't remember I don't know names. And then I bought a Stag J series bass, which I still have in some work. It's bad the fuck, but that was probably my first proper guitar, because I never owned the Ibanez. And then I bought an Epiphone Wildcat, which is probably
That's cool.
Oh yeah, I love my Wildcat. I'm more of a Epiphone fan than not just because of the price, but Wildcat. I don't know. I just gravitate to the Wildcat because I couldn't afford a Gretsch.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Gretches are expensive.
Oh no, but I really want
get
one.
that.
I really want one. And then I have an Epiphone, again, Les Paul special bass, which is more like my main bass. But I really want a Jackson. I really want a Jackson guitar. Like I'm saving up for a Jackson J. Oh, I'm gonna have to, like I know I don't do the numbers and names, but I have to for this because it's my like. Where is it? It's JS32. So it's one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
It's only like 280 quid. It's a Rally Rose model. It's got a Floyd Rose. I just need it. I need to play like it because I'm very weird with guitars. Like I can only play certain songs on certain guitars, so I don't feel right playing heavy stuff on. Oh no, I have a anniversary model, like a knockoff telly as well. But I can't play heavy music on that telly because it doesn't feel right. I need
I know what you mean.
I need like a Floyd Rose pickup. I need to be like, so I need that because I want to start playing heavy, like learning heavy music.
I know what you mean. I recently got a Strat, which I never thought I'd ever do. But over lockdown I got a Strat, and it's my only guitar in a sensible tuning. So like,
I can feel that.
when I want to play like any heavy songs, like thrash songs that are in standard, I'm like going to my Strat and playing it on my Strat, and I'm like, this is just horrible.
Doesn't feel right, does it? It doesn't. And I genuinely thought I was the only one. So I talked to some people about it, and they're just like, I don't get what you mean. I was like, but I can't play. That's why I'm happy on my bass player, because I can play anything on my Epiphone, because it's matte finish, so it looks cool. Fucking annoying because of the dust, but it looks cool. So I play anything on there, but when it comes to guitar, like I can only learn certain things. And I'm always, my telly's out of commission at the minute because I'm taking the what's it called, the lacquer off, because I hate lacquer on guitars.
Do you?
I don't know why. It's just, you know, like really shiny stuff on it. I just can't.
The lacquer.
Yeah, the lacquer. You know when it really shines? I just don't. I like to wear it down. I like the paint to come off a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I took the strings off. I've taken the.
How are you doing that? Are you doing it with the sand sponge?
I'm not decided yet, because I've seen some people use like acetate or acetone with like a.
To strip it off.
Yeah, and that takes the paint off as well, which I don't really mind. I was going to probably take the paint off anyway, but I know you can just sand it off. But you have to be careful. I'm going to be careful not to get the wood. But it's going to happen at some point.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do that like a project guitar for so long. I should have done it over lockdown, and it was one of those things where I was enjoying actually playing. Like,
that's what's happened to me as well.
So I kind of didn't want to. All I wanted to do was play, but I would like to have a project guitar to just like mess around with and stuff like that.
Well, it was a graduation present, and it cost my mum and dad like 100 quid. So I just wanted a solid body because my Epiphone's hollow. And again, I don't like playing certain songs on it because it's a hollow.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So I didn't learn some songs for ages because I didn't have a solid body guitar. But yeah, I just want to take the paint off. I don't know what colour I'm going to. I might just keep it white, to be fair. But yeah, I like an aged guitar. Yeah. Just in my head.
The road one kind of effects on it. It's really cool. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that to the Jackson. I'm going to keep the Jackson like it is. Because I feel like that's going to cost me like nearly 300 quid. So I'll be like, I don't really want to turn that into a project guitar. I'd rather turn a 100 quid guitar that I didn't spend any money on into it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good shout.
Yeah. I need to get an amp though. I've never owned an actual guitar amp.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it?
Strange.
I have a bass amp, line 6, which has done me wonders over the years. But I've never had, to be fair, I haven't really got space for it, but I still use that little Packless amp from Kids for Music.
Oh my word! Oh, that's nice though that you still got it.
And yeah, but I need a proper guitar. I need to proper make some noise. Especially when I play Power Trip. I'm like,
Yeah, sick. That'd be cool.
how, like, have you had good reactions from the videos you've put up on Instagram and stuff? Because I've enjoyed them.
Oh,
But I imagine there's,
thank you.
a bit. Again, I'm going back to this stuff. Again, going back to the stuff where, like, do you get hate for it?
I knew you was going to say that. I've been really, really lucky, to be quite honest, and I can only, like, honestly, like, think of a few times where I've had, like, shitty stuff online. Like, obviously when the Marshall video got put out, there was a lot of hate on that, and I knew that, like, as we were filming it, and I said, like, as I was filming it, I know that, like, this is gonna...
The New Artist series one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and Marshall, like, look, Deb, it's, like, just a part of Marshall fans, and that's just how it is. Don't stress it. So,
I can imagine.
yeah, so that was to be expected, so I was, like, I found it quite funny when the comments were, like, savage, but, like, on my actual post on my page, it doesn't really happen.
That's good.
Yeah, I honestly can't think of, like, the last time I had any hate on my own page, which I'm really thankful for.
That's good. I know it sounds... I don't know how I sounded there, but that's genuinely really good, because I feel like it can put people off, especially... I don't want to... Especially for women. I feel like it can be proper, like... It's like a minefield sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, I can understand why people wouldn't want to get into it if you're going to get comments like that. I think maybe because I started playing so young and it wasn't on my mind, like, that might be a possibility. I was already, like, I'd already found my love for it.
Yeah,
like,
no, I feel
before,
that.
Like, before there are some people who don't like women doing it, so I was already like, well, I love this, so why would I was quite like, huh? What do you mean? And then, yeah, but...
Yeah, because I think it was a TikTok. It's like there was a girl in, like, a Metallica shirt.
Yeah,
And she got
that's
loads
so
of shit.
cool.
I know, yeah. And then like, the
She's
next
so
video,
cool.
I don't know if it's the same video or the video after. She's riffing. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
girl. That's
yeah.
what you need to do. Because
Amazing, I love her.
you made those people look like fucking idiots.
Absolutely. And, like, really, if anybody is that bothered to go onto your page and like, write all this crap, there's something wrong with them.
Trust me.
They're normally, like... I saw a hate comment the other day on, I can't remember what it was, who was playing. It might have been her at the Super Bowl, and I saw a hate comment, and I clicked on this guy's profile, and you know, you have that little bit about you before you're, it just said divorced, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, yeah, that really sums it up. And if you go on, like, most of these people's, like, these trolls profiles, they are all just unhappy divorced men in their 50s.
There's so many where it's like no posts, no display picture. If it is a display picture, it's a car.
Yes.
I just don't get it. I'm happy it's come out. I'm happy. Obviously, I've always been an advocate for it. I'm very happy people have taken what's happened with that poor girl in London and sort of turned it into a positive. So obviously there was talk about it before, like, but now I feel like people are actually listening.
Yeah, I mean, like, the conversation is being, like, more prominent, like, about, like, sexism and racism and homophobia and transphobia and all of that horrible stuff. And I think all of it kind of boils down to, like, you should just not project anything onto somebody else that is hurtful. And I think if you have that as, like, a general rule, then you're doing things right. It's sad that there is so much hate that floats around. It's really, really awful, but I am glad that we're talking about it.
Perry always makes, like, something. Perry always does something that makes a noise during our podcast.
Try not to.
You know, because for a long time, I don't know if it's because of my health problems in the past, but I've never, obviously before that, I did fall into those sort of traps of hating on people, but since then, I look about the world and think, why would you wake up and just want to be mean?
Yeah.
Oh, why waste your energy? Read a book.
Yeah.
Read a book. They learn to play guitar, and it's like, I just don't. I don't necessarily feel sorry for the people that hate on people, but it's just the same characters, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's like people who aren't fully aware of what they're doing. I think they have a lot of contradictions in their life.
Mm.
A lot of like racist people will happily go out for like a curry or a Chinese.
Yeah.
And, like the massive contradiction that you are. Like it's just. Yeah.
A lot of people are very.
A lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of actually, like, I'm a massive believer in like. I know lately people are saying like not all men and stuff like that, but if you are like complicit with where it starts, like the beginnings of racism or sexism or homophobia, then you're complicit with it all. If you sit and listen to like slurs about somebody, or if you do that yourselves, although you're not contributing it as like an extreme point of view, nobody just goes out and shoots an Asian person one day. It will have built up, and where do you think it builds up from? Things like slurs, nasty comments and things like that. And that's why I think that it should really be stamped out from the beginning, and everybody has a part to play with that.
Rest in peace to those poor victims. Was it LA? I think it was LA.
I think LA.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to go into what the police chief said because I think it's been said enough, but just the way people react to it sometimes isn't good enough either. I forgot where I was going to go before you mentioned that now. What were we talking about? I can't remember.
That's all right.
Oh no, I can now. I had this conversation on Instagram because there's quite a lot of fan sites that Instagram pages that do it for like the football league. So they do news about the 92 teams in the football league, and then there's a non-league one which is really cool. And he posted he's only a young kid, I don't know, he's like 17, 18. So I didn't he posted a picture about that counsellor that was like, oh, men should be put into curfew before 6 p.m. And he was like, this is wrong. I was like, yeah, it is, but she's saying that because of this and this reason, because nothing's been done before. They need like a shock tactic to, especially people that are ignorant to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had like a proper good conversation. Well, I say good. They're children. They don't fucking listen to someone telling. I wasn't telling them off, but I was explaining like it's important for you guys to do it because like I'm 27 and I know. I can't recall them, but I know out of the 27 years I've been on this planet, there's at least one time that I've not stepped up in that situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think back to when I was younger and people were like, oh, you know nothing. Like, when you're 14, you think you know everything, don't you? And I was like, I tried to do it in a nice way, not to ridicule. Because as soon as you start ridiculing them for being stupid, they're not going to listen to you. And I feel like that is the main reason why no one is listening to people, whatever side you're on.
Yeah, I think there's a way of going about things, and like obviously if someone's coming at you with a narrative of you're stupid, then you're not going to listen to them even if they do make a valid point that you might agree with, because it's like an aggressive.
Yeah, you're already on the defensive.
Yeah. It's very hard, and I think like having open conversations with people is a way that you'll get through to more people, because it's not like it's just a certain type of person who's going around doing the most extreme hateful crimes. I think everybody, I'd be very surprised if somebody could say that they haven't stepped up in a situation where they should have done, whether they've heard somebody say a slur or something like that. I'd be very surprised. And I think everybody has a responsibility to change that, and not to be afraid to do that as well. There's definitely situations where it might be awkward for you to say what you're doing.
Life's awkward, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those bit like I think it's like that phrase, calm seas don't make great sailors. So I think you should put yourself into awkward, complicated situations, because you'll find something out about yourself that you didn't know before.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, just stick up for people. Strange. I just like I say, when I was a kid I was like that, but I'm not saying I matured very quickly, but I just don't understand what the attraction is of it to do stuff like that.
Can get kind of deep, but misinformation, which results in like anger and aggression and a hate towards somebody based on information that you think is true but isn't true, and it's usually to do with like money and power.
Oh, don't. Like I have my local MPs.
Oh no!
My local MP's Facebook page goes off now and again because someone will post something. And it's the same two characters that I don't argue with because I'm not shouting. I'm not arguing with them. I'm just stating points, and they can choose to and I take their points on board. But like when that woman got arrested at the vigil in London, someone thought, this is so stupid. This is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my not ever, because I've seen some stupid things. But they thought, because she was an actress, they thought it was, which is a possibility. It's in there because she's an actress. But basically, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. It's quite a serious accusation. But there was a train tube station bombing in 2017. I can't remember. I think something or other. And there was a picture of a ginger woman there. And they thought they were the same person. So it was like they put it was like a mad cause like this guy posted this graphic on there, and I was like, dude, that's not the same person. He's like, oh, you can believe that if you want. And it's like, and I was like, dude, it's not the same. The only thing that's similar is the ginger, and they're very pale, which is not very pale, but you know, it's a common trait of ginger people. Yeah. Their nose was completely different, and both their jaws were completely different. I was like, dude. Honestly,
this is the thing. They're like misinformation, man. But that's like ludicrous.
Like, and I went to was like, so you're telling me they were both faked? Like because the arrest could have been faked because in some terms, like they picked her out of the crowd. So obviously, if they knew she was there, they could have done that. But I was like, you telling me a train bombing was faked? And he just avoided that question altogether. And I was like, dude, shut up. And then like half hour later, I commented back because there's this fact checking thing that checks it out. The poor sons had to fact check if this was the same person.
Oh no!
They wasted hours of their life trying to figure out who it was, and I just copied this link, and he just didn't. I don't even know if he clicked on it or anything. But I'm just like, dude, just calm down. Calm down with your conspiracy theories, man. Just chill out. It's not.
Oh no!
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so much fun.
Oh.
But like debates like that. But luckily, you know, on Facebook, you know, when you comment on something and there's two people who are replying underneath you, but they might not tag you, but you still get the notification.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just turned into a shouting match of which party's politicians had spent more on expenses. I was like, or who were being investigated by the police. I was like, shut up. Talk about more important things.
So this is why I find like those types of like Facebook groups and things.
Oh, no, this is our local MP's page.
They're just really
goes off on there. South Birmingham, fucking wild man.
People just feed off each other with it though, and if they share the same opinion, then it just grows and grows and grows.
People like likes too much. People like to be right too much.
Oh no.
Oh damn. Is there any? I'm gonna stop talking about that because it pisses me off. No doubt when I get home and check Facebook there will be something. But now like at the start of lockdown I was very like into like I felt like I had to comment and rectify that situation. Now I just don't give a shit. I comment now and again. Post a link that disputes whatever my local MP says now and again. And then that'll lead off it and I comment it, but I don't take it seriously as I did last year. I'm proper into it. I'm getting stressed. And then I'd get like a Facebook notification. I was like, oh my god, I've got to comment again. Like, no, you don't actually.
Oh no, swept up into it.
Yeah, man. I got like proper, because I have addictive personality, and I have, because the gyms aren't open, which is my usual. You know what I mean? I just use it as a thing where I've replaced stuff with the gym, and reading and stuff, because that's not there. I had like a void. And luckily, I've put bass playing into it. Which I think everybody should. Not bass specifically.
Or bass specifically.
Yeah. We need more bass players. Is there a genre that you'd like to make music in that you haven't yet? Or do you think you could? Do you think you could like morph into a pop star?
Oh no, 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 no. No. I don't think pop. I do really like shoegaze and that kind of. I say that because I think I like elements of shoegaze.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'll be able to tell you any actual shoegaze bands.
I didn't know what shoegaze was until very recently.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's. Someone explained it to me, but it's called shoegaze because they're literally looking at their shoes.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa! I thought it was like something a bit more deeper than that, but no, it's just it's like 90s stuff, wasn't it? Was there like Britpop and shoegaze about at the same time? I can't remember.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see. I kind of. Do you know like Wand? I really
Wand?
like Wand.
As in a wand.
The band Wand.
Yeah, no, no, I've never heard of them.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's like yeah. Anything with just loads of reverb, I would be down to make. I do like the clean kind of side of things, and I've got like quite a lot of riffs that are clean that will never be used for like heavy stuff. I'd love to be like part of a black metal band. And
Full makeup.
No. More like Oathbreaker,
Okay.
Death Heaven vibes.
Have you read what's the book called? I read it. Shit, it's like literally because where my books are at home on my bookshelf, they're all they're like I see them all. Just explain what a
You see
bookshelf
them all
is.
the time?
Yeah, I'm just explaining what a bookshelf is. What's that book about death metal in Norway?
Oh, I don't know. Don't know.
It might not even be death metal, but
Outed
metal.
as a massive poser now that I don't know, but I don't know.
I'm not really a big fan, but it's one of those books. I like music books.
I do as well, actually. I
was
really
gonna say, you
like
should read it.
Randy Blythe's autobiography,
Who's that?
The Singer of Lamb of God.
See, I know. This is the thing. I don't know people's names.
No.
And I feel like you do feel like a poser sometimes, don't you? Like when someone like
Yeah.
I should know who that is because
Yeah.
I like Lamb of God. But then again, like if I name, I'm trying myself look really fucking cool now.
You're gonna come up with like their most obscure band ever and be like, name their first bass
No,
player.
I was gonna name a band. I was gonna name a singer and give you like. Do you know who Jello Biafra is?
No.
Dead Kennedys. Well, former Dead Kennedys.
Oh my word.
Yeah. So that's the only one I could think of because I thought I was gonna say. For fuck's sake.
You're about to out me as a massive poser, aren't you?
No, I was gonna say. I can't remember his name now. Who's the guy from Black Flag?
Oh, fuck off. I don't know. And
He's
now I
everywhere.
am a massive poser.
He's everywhere. He's not even my favourite lead singer of Black Flag, and that's the fucking thing that's pissing me off. Who is it? He's bald. It was his birthday. He's just turned 50. He's like mental.
It was bald. It was his birthday. I don't know, man.
What's his name?
I don't want to say something.
Oh, Lords of Chaos was the book I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
That's quite cool. It's like not an omnibus, but it's like a big rundown and stuff. What's his name? Perry, what's his name?
I don't have a clue.
Oh. No, this is pissing me off now. Like, this isn't even a question. Cause we know
no. This is going to be like something where somebody will watch it and be like, what the fuck?
Oh no.
Why don't you know? I'm not right.
I follow him on Instagram as well. No, I know who Keith Morris is. I could have told you it was Keith Morris. I like Keith Morris. Rollins? No. Yeah, Henry Rollins. You know Henry. Yeah. Sorry. You know when you go like I hate talking about music because I know who fucking Henry Rollins is. I know who Black Flag are, but I just couldn't put those two things together at all. Fuck's sake. I'm losing all my punk points.
Outed as a massive poser.
Trust me. Like I wear tartan trousers for no reason, just because I think they look cool. Oh my lord. Oh my absolute god. But yeah, I do really like. There's some really cool music books. I read one about the Riot Girl. Not phenomenon because it makes it sound cheap. The whole like bikini kill scene from 1990s America. That was really cool. Quite a few cool punk books. They were quite sick. I'm just listing off books I've read now.
I do that. That's about the only books that I can actually like sit down and read. I don't have any attention span otherwise. I'm quite bad with like films that I can't sit and watch a film.
I'm not that.
I
Films
really
I can't do
can.
anymore. But I started reading music books, and now I can actually
can
read
read.
books now.
That's sick. That's really cool. I do envy people who can read books.
Oh, I'll blow your mind. The last book I read was about coal.
Cool.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Again, probably not the strangest book I've ever read. Basically, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and the author was on there, and she's like a lawyer, but she like.
Coal.
No, I mean she did. She wrote like it was people that were suing the coal industry.
Oh right, okay.
So
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So she wrote a book about it. She also did one about smoking. But yeah, it's just like a history of coal. It was it was quite cool
I
because I
think
learned
like
quite a
the
lot.
nitty gritty of it.
Yeah.
Like, if there was any beef, I'd be like, yes, let me read up about
Yeah, there was a
this.
bit of beef. Like when it went to America, they're like one. I can't that, but the guy that owned something testified in court against the Molly Malones, who were like.
So these are like party tricks that you can pull out when the pubs reopen.
The problem is I don't
on the
remember
sites.
anything
Oh.
because I can't remember their
You've
names.
just lost loads of your hours of your life.
Yeah,
to the
like-
whole industry.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it was good. It was a good couple of weeks. I read that book as well. I really want a minute about evidence of how, because they think people went to the Americas at some point. Obviously, Christopher Columbus didn't discover it, but yeah, they think for years and years, this one guy and a couple of others said that life in America started like millennia before it actually did. Not millennia. But you know what I mean, a long time, and I'm basically reading a book about it. It's quite interesting. But again, I'm not going to be able to talk about it because I won't remember any of it. The only thing, yeah, but the coal book, I remember something Stevenson invented the steam engine.
Fantastic.
I can't
That's a
remember.
fact.
Yeah, I can't remember his first
You
name.
can
now.
just say Mr. Stevenson.
Mr. Stevenson. And then some guy in America, in Pittsburgh. Oh, I learned something quite interesting actually. Pittsburgh used to be called the Birmingham of the Americas.
Really?
Yeah, because
As in like Albert?
yeah, our Birmingham. Because of how quickly it became industrial,
Wow.
and the steam engine was invented. I don't know if it's technically invented in Birmingham, but the guy, Steve, I don't even know if it's Stevenson, but he partnered with Matthew Bolton.
Oh,
And
right.
Matthew
He's
Bolton.
got the college.
He has. But yeah, Matthew Bolton basically. Sorry, because that's the first thing that I thought of as well. I was like, oh, the college. I was just like, oh, not like him being famous industrialist. But yeah, he got the college.
Also owner of local Birmingham College. Yeah.
Oh, that's the good one. Surely I had exactly the same thought. Yeah, he basically financed it. So it was, even though the guy was from like Newcastle, he came down to Birmingham because no one else wanted to finance it, and Matthew Bolton had a bit of money, so he financed the steam engine, which later led to the Industrial Revolution. Well, further into the Industrial Revolution.
Oh my word.
Yeah, pardon me. Just my stomach grumbled. Yeah, it was a really interesting book because like China, still have coal mines, like actively, like massive.
Don't we still have coal mines?
Yeah, but not as much as we used to. Because it touches on the miners' strikes in the 1980s as well with, I can't remember the fucking geezer's name again. It was a quiz question on the chase the other day as well. I felt proper impressed that I know. Pressed my mum and dad because I knew who he was. Yeah, it just went into a little bit about the miners' strike as well. Which is quite a big thing over here.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was before our time. So yeah, read books, kids.
That's a lot of information considering that you said you didn't know much.
Arthur Scargill was his name. Sorry, I'm just remembering his name. It's Arthur Scargill. Like he took over and then he tried to take down Thatcher, but didn't.
Good on him. Oh no.
Yeah.
I said that as though I didn't
No,
know. that
don't
you
worry, don't worry.
succeeded.
Because like I've said that to people, like, oh, I read a book about coal. Like, why are you doing it to
So
yourself?
you never know when you might need to recite that knowledge.
It's podcast filler, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, read Lords of Chaos. It was really cool because there was a whole. I can't remember what band it was, but you know the famous album where it's an actual dead person on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about that band. But I can't remember the band.
Not Mayhem.
Yeah, it was Mayhem. Mayhem's the exact band. Yes, thank you. I'm not just stupid because someone's said that. Yeah, it's about that time and like just before about it. I don't think it goes too much. It goes into a bit about the murder, but not
Was
the
it-
details.
Was it a suicide?
No, I can't remember. You know, I've read the book,
I don't know.
but this was
Maybe
like the
there's
first
more
thing.
than one album title, but there's.
Oh, there's been more than one killing. There's like, there's been in that
world.
in that scene there was more than one.
Oh really?
Yeah, because the lead singer got, I don't know if he killed him or, cause I think it was the guitar player in Mayhem, and the lead singer. No, he he did shoot himself in the. It was a suicide.
Yeah.
Shot himself in the head, and then the lead singer broke into the house and took pictures of it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Don't write that. I'm sorry.
It's
I
weird,
think
isn't
that's
it?
horrible.
It is very weird.
I know it's made him very famous.
It just gives death
But
metal a
I
bad
don't-
name, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's all black metal. I don't know which one's which.
Black metal. Probably.
Yeah, death metal was before. Death metal was like, yeah, 'cause the book goes into a little bit about their influences and how death metal became black metal, or the other way around. Yeah, death metal was first. And they were a bit more cartoony. Not cartoon in like dress. They were like,
What, black metal?
no, death metal.
Really?
I think so. No, they had like spikes and stuff. Like death metal is just like black cloaks and white face paint in it.
That's black metal.
Is it black metal?
Yeah, black metal is all
I'm so
theatrical and
confused.
shit.
Maybe I'm wrong now.
No,
Oh no, there's
death metal I always thought was like fucking loads of reverb on dive bombs and like.
Oh,
Was
it might
it?
not be death metal.
And
Then.
then like black metal is like white face paint, black eyes,
Yeah,
blast beats, trim riffs.
it might not be. It might not be death metal. I'm talking about. But the bands that they were influenced were very much like. Again, I've seen some pictures of them. It's that I've never heard the songs, but it's like a bit more spiky. A bit more spiky and a bit more like the way I describe it is Judas Priest, but with like massive cartoony spikes. Cartoon is big.
I know what you mean. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's cool.
But yeah, it's a really cool book. I've probably not sold it very well. But
I think you have. I think you've done a good job of giving me the synopsis.
honestly, I'm so bad at it. I know a lot of things, but I'm so bad at explaining stuff. Like, I go off on tangents. Like, I forgot that guy's name, and 2 seconds later, I fucking remembered it. I was like, sounds Scargill.
It's the pressure of the mic on. That's what it is.
It's not.
the
It's just
mic
how I
pressure.
work all the time.
All right,
Genuinely. If you go over like, if you ask me things. Like, if you say if I'm back at work and you come up for a pint and you ask me a question, I'll know it by the time. Like, I'll be like, I know this. And then you come up for your second pint and be like, it's that. You know what I mean? Where can the people find you? Insta? Brand?
Yes.
What's it?
so,
SoundCloud? You got SoundCloud?
No. So Heriot would be.
Bandcamp.
Yeah,
You know what? Carry on. I'm interrupting you. It's your links.
So Heriot Metal is our Instagram handle, and heriotmetal.bandcamp is where you can find any of our merch. Obviously, to listen to us, it's just Heriot on Spotify. So I hope that you listen and like it. If
Please
you
do, guys.
choose to listen to it.
Yeah, I've introduced them to a couple of my mates and they really like you.
Oh, thank you, man.
So, links will be in the bio. I'll probably put them up on screen as well. It's the first time I'm actually editing my own video this time as well.
My word.
Yeah, I know. Because the past couple of audio ones, I've just used the same image and just like my logo with whoever's on. This time I'm gonna try and video edit so I can put like the t-shirts in. So we can actually look at them, like my t-shirts, my beanie, your guys' stuff, like links and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try to.
Oh man.
But I'm not the best person at technology, you know.
I'm terrible. Really awful.
Once I get it, I get it.
Mm,
But it takes me a while, and I'm very
absolutely same.
like I lose my temper with technology as well. Like if it doesn't work, if I can see someone do it and then I'll try and do it and it doesn't work, I'm just like, fucking what? But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.